Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast, Best Possible Me, where we look at relationship dilemmas, try to open different viewpoints and perspectives in hope that if everyone does this, we all become the best possible me. My name is Cindy.
And my name is Ayala. And today we will be looking at, should I call off my wedding? Oh, big question.
Big question, yes.
Okay. So I'll start by reading?
Yes.
Okay. So I feel like I'm losing my mind. I'm getting married in 5 weeks and I don't think I can go through with it. My partner David and I have been together for a year and a half. We decided to get married so I can stay in his country with a visa. Okay, not a good reason to get married, but okay. Sorry, I just had to put that in there. Until then, we had been living together for 8 months. He has always been supportive and makes silly jokes when I have a bad day. He buys me snacks when I'm depressed and just makes me feel like somebody in this world actually loves me and is happy I exist. Okay, that's a good reason to get married. For reference, I left my physical, mentally, and sexually abusive home when I was 18 after recovering from a severe traumatic brain injury that left me with even more crippling anxiety, depression, and insecurities than I've ever had before. I've had horrible, sometimes abusive relationships, and I thought nobody could ever love me. Which is why when this man asked me to marry him, I honestly thought this was my fairy tale ending and something good was finally happening to me. Okay, that's heavy. I didn't want a big wedding because I'd have nobody to invite, and all my friends think I'm actually marrying him for money and very obviously make fun of me for being a gold digger, despite the fact that we share bills and I have more money than him. He thought these jokes were hilarious, which only emboldened them, and I just stopped hanging out with them. We decided on an elopement wedding with 6 guests. He wanted a wedding that was in remote island with little to no vendor information and local guides in different language. I made all the plans, talked to all the vendors, made this nightmare wedding happen over 6 months. I kept telling him to do his bit of the planning, but he'd rather play video games. We have fought every single week where I've asked him to please help me. I'm actually feeling like I'm drowning. I have a full-time job. I'm studying for a diploma and I need therapy that I cannot afford now because of this ridiculously expensive wedding that I hate so much, because it just reminds me that he abandoned me repeatedly and has watched me suffer every day. Whenever we have to do something, either his friends need a sub for a video game or a board night game or whatever else that he can come up with to leave. Last week, I said, please, let's buy our rings this weekend because it's the last thing left. And he hasn't had a hand in anything else. It was a Saturday, and even though I am working, I tried to make it, but he blindsided me and said that he had to pick up a friend from the train station to take him to another friend's house, which was 10 minutes away from the station. We were 5 minutes away from the jewelry shop, so I just went home. It's been 2 days. We don't talk. He pretends everything's okay. He started applying for my visa. I don't know if he's reminding me of my place or a last-ditch attempt to keep me here. I don't know. I've paid for everything. Does he even want this wedding? I'm not suicidal, but when the thoughts come, I'm suddenly back at home begging my mom to take me to hospital. Please help me. I just want to make my life worth living for myself.
This is very heavy, actually, because this girl obviously went through so much trauma in her childhood and in her previous relationship, and she's actually not doing okay at the moment, reading through what she wrote. Would you agree, Ella? Like,
I
she's
totally
not doing
agree.
okay.
I feel that her mental health is
Not in a good place.
not in a good place, and she's probably really feeling triggered because going through a lot of abuse in her childhood and then later with other partners.
Yes.
Obviously, she would be much more sensitive to anything that might feel like any
Abandonment.
sort of
Yeah.
abandonment, which
She
she's
mentioned.
talking about.
Yes.
Yes. So it could be that what someone else won't need necessarily see as abandonment, for her, it's amplified and
Yes.
much stronger. So going back to her original question of should she cancel the wedding, I think that if you're not in a good, healthy emotional state yourself, and this whole process is putting you in such a bad place, then maybe it's a good idea, not necessarily to cancel, but at least not to have it now. But first, be in a better place before you're ready to commit to such a big, life-changing event.
Definitely. Yeah, but there's other factors. There's other elements into play at the same time. We don't know which country they are in. We don't know what the requirements for visa is. At the end of her story, she did say, "Oh, he pretends nothing happened after we had this basically a big argument about going to buy rings, and then he decided to go pick up friends." Does that mean they have to have a wedding to be able to have the paperwork for him to start applying for her visa? Or you know what I'm saying? Like maybe pushing the wedding out is not ideal for her if at this stage she needed him to sponsor her for visa, or is there another way around it?
Yes.
Like
I totally understand what you're saying. I also think there's an element here. They're having a wedding at a remote island with 6 people.
which he picked, obviously. It looks like he
Yes.
picked, but then she did all the planning somehow.
Yes, but if it's a wedding with 6 people,
Do you need to go to an island?
no. And they want an
yeah.
island. That's
Yes,
fine. Let's
yes.
stay with the island. But how much real planning has to be involved in it?
Well, okay. She
So-
did say it's a remote island and there's very little vendors, so she probably needs to spend a lot of time on research. The
Yeah.
end result does not look a very comprehensive process, but the time and the commitment she has to put in place to make that happen, that could be enormous for her.
Yes. And again, we need to also look at her mental health, because if you're not in a good mental health, then a task that could normally take 10 minutes might take you 3 days just because of the emotional toll that task kind of has on you.
Right. Yes.
And I'm not saying this in any cynicism whatsoever. It's just it's huge, and any small task feels huge and feels overwhelming. It's just very, very hard, which might also raise a question about him, and does he actually realize where she is with her mental health, and does he actually understand that what he thinks is a lot of planning in his eyes might be nothing, because how much work is it to
for a very
organize a
small
wedding with 6
wedding.
people?
Yes, but at the same time, didn't feel like he has offered to help.
No, but again, we heard only her side of the story.
True.
And we did hear the fact that he has applied for a visa for her. So he is
Helping her with the paperwork side of things.
And it
Okay.
does seem like he's serious and wants to go ahead with this. He did suggest the venue. And he was happy for them to elope and only have 6 friends because of the fact that his friends weren't necessarily that nice to her.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So there are little hints that maybe things aren't as bad as at the moment she feels they are. And again, I'm not belittling her feelings at all. I'm just trying to look at it very cold and factual.
Okay.
But I am very, very concerned of her mental health. Now, being someone that has gone through abuse as well, it could be that all kinds of little things that he does or doesn't do might gaslight her.
Like you said, could be trigger for her, can amplify. But at the same time, we want to make it clear that it is not because of who she is. It's not because, oh, she's blowing this out of proportion. This could be small to others, but big for her. We're not blaming her in any sense.
No.
She is where she is because of her experience and because of the abuse that happened to her.
Yes. And my question is, how aware is he of all the abuse
Of her
she went
past
through?
experience,
And
yes.
how aware is he of how his behavior might be actually gaslighting her?
Triggering for her, yes. Yep.
So if he's aware and he's still doing it, I have a big problem with that.
Definitely. That is, big red flag.
Yes. If he's not aware or doesn't actually even recognize how his behavior is impacting her or gaslighting her, then that's a different story altogether.
Right. Yes, that's part of communication issues between two of them. Yes.
Yes. So you'd expect to see a lot more support from him. Again, but we're hearing only her side, so we don't really fully know yet.
Right. Okay. Shall we hear from David? Shall we hear from David's side then?
Yes, I just want to question, is their relationship a healthy relationship?
Definitely not at the moment, Tayala. If you're gonna get married in 5 weeks and you haven't got your ring picked out, she's going through so much trauma and feeling like she's being abused, and looks like feel like she went back to the place where it was really dark for her. She literally said in her post that she felt like it's back to her childhood, her begging her mom to take her to hospital because her mental health was so bad. Then this is not a healthy relationship. And also for her to spend so much money on this wedding, she said because of the wedding expensive, she does not have money to see a therapist, which is going to be a bigger issue because you need to prioritize your mental health over expenses on things like wedding.
100%. So if I'm in a situation like this, similar to this, or feeling really, really stressed relating to my wedding preparations,
Right.
how do I know when the relationship is actually healthy or when it's my mental health?
It is really hard. I think when you know the relationship is healthy or not healthy, we always come back to trust and communication, right? Like you mentioned before, is he aware of her past experience? Has she communicated with him, this is my past experience, or what you've been doing to me in the past few weeks, your behavior, your action has triggered me into that space, so I would like some support from you. What have they had that open communication about it? If they have had that communication and David continued to behave the way that he is, then I would say this is very much a relationship problem.
I totally agree with you. And another question that comes up is marriage preparations in general. Should it be one-sided or should it be done together?
In my personal opinion, should be done together regardless. Are you getting married so she can get a visa? You guys are in love with each other and this is an event for both of you.
Yes. So
be together.
I totally agree with you. I know that a lot of times in many countries, it goes by what the wife wants, what the female wants. But I question many times, does that mean that at some point the husband becomes a visitor in his own wedding?
I get where you're coming. Yes.
And it also raises questions about if we can actually work together in preparing this wedding and deal with the hard stuff, it actually prepares us and develops resilience for us to deal with other future
problems, yes,
that we will have as a couple.
Yes.
So building a good foundation in the preparation of a wedding is almost a stepping stone to be able to build other future things that you'll need to develop together and decide on together and agree on together and deal with later as partners.
Right, definitely. It's about coming up with plans, who does what. It's also about having that difficult conversation about things that stressing you out, even if it's wedding related, but down the track you might have things related to any other factors, any other elements of your life that you need to have this difficult conversation with your partner.
Yeah. And I think that it's also about being excited together and building that excitement together towards us starting this new chapter in our life.
Yes, definitely. But I do see your point. In a lot of culture, a lot of countries, they even some cultures I know of, I heard of, that it is the bride side paying for the wedding, or the bride makes all the decisions about the wedding. But what does that make the men feel? Like if they're getting married, both of them should have equal inputs into what they wanted into this wedding, because the wedding is not just for the bride, it's for both of them.
100%. I agree with you here. And again, we're representing our cultures and where we come from. It would be interesting to hear from someone from a different culture.
Definitely, yes.
That looks at it as, no, this is the responsibility of the female in the relationship, and why and where it's coming from. So
Yes. Yeah.
So let's hear his version of the story.
Okay. Yes. I'm gonna read his version. I have been living with my girlfriend Jean for a year and a half. She's great, yet a bit dramatic and pushy sometimes. I know she had a rough childhood with abusive parents, and she gets easily triggered, which is why I try to support her emotionally by showing her the fun side of things and not get angry with her dramas. I'm financially secure, so is she, so that really isn't an issue. I don't mind being the main provider as long as she takes care of domestics and all the other bureaucratic headaches. She works at some nail place. I think it is mainly because she enjoys chatting with her coworkers there, as money isn't an issue. Because she came from another country and finished her studies, she's about to be without a visa. So we discussed it, and I offered to get married to ensure she gets a visa. For me, getting married isn't a big deal. And in all honesty, if it wasn't for the visa issue, I would have enjoyed just living with her like we did before. When we agreed to get married, she got all excited, and all I wanted was a quick, simple ceremony, elopement style, in a nice vacation style location. I told her this, and she was fine with it, as she hardly has any friends or connection with her family. I have many friends, and being there for my friends is very important to me. Just like I try to be there for my girlfriend when she really needs me. Otherwise, I enjoy just chilling, which helps me take the steam off from work and life in general. The closer we got to the wedding, the more to my girlfriend's stress level grew. She constantly talking about the planning the wedding, which I didn't get, as it is only an elopement ceremony with 6 guests. What's the big deal? I did start the visa application, which to me is a real important part about this whole wedding thing. Last week, she asked to buy our rings on the weekend. I said yes, because I had no other plans. However, my mate called saying his car stopped working and asked if I can pick him up at the train station and take him to another mate of ours. I will always be there for my mates, like they will be there for me if I need them to. I told her I was running late and I would meet her in 10 minutes. But with the drama, she told me not to bother and went directly home from work. I don't know why she couldn't just wait for me. I was literally 10 minutes away. Since then, she stopped talking to me, not sure why she's so mad about. I tried asking, but she doesn't answer. I'm not concerned about the rings because we still have 5 weeks till the wedding, and we can always buy something while on vacation just before the wedding.
Okay, very different perspective.
Very different. And I just want to start by saying 5 weeks is probably not enough time. If you want to get the ring that you wanted, if you would like to get it resized, come on, it's going to take longer than that.
But he might not know that. He might actually not know that. And again, from his point of view, he said very clearly, for him, it's about being with her, not necessarily a big deal about the wedding. He sees the wedding part just as
almost like a vacation, because
yes.
talked about it like a vacation island.
Yes. And what he sees as the serious part is the visa part. because he wants to be with her and he wants to stay with her. And that's for him much more important than the actual wedding ceremony as such.
Yes.
So their whole view of what this wedding means.
So different.
Very, very
drastically different. Yeah.
So we do know now that he is aware of her background.
The abusive childhood, the parents.
Yes.
Yep.
And he, from his perspective, is saying, I am trying to support her and I'm trying, to calm down the dramas, accept the dramas, not make it into a big deal, but make it into something
Fun.
we can,
Yeah.
something we can both laugh at. And which maybe in his eyes is helping, but I'm not sure that in her eyes is actually helping.
Could be ignoring from her eyes.
Could
Is
be.
he avoiding?
Could be.
Yes.
And again, that raises. So it looks like they're talking, but not fully, not into depth of how
They're not communicating. Yeah. No.
Yes. So although they are sharing information, they're not digging deeper to actually understand how the way he interprets calming her down actually is interpreted by her and what she actually needs from him in order to feel more reassured.
Definitely. And his views about the wedding, he treated it more like a casual vacation, but he actually cares more about the paperwork, about applying visa for her. That message hasn't come through to her.
No. So she feels like she's the only one doing something here. She is recognizing that he's acting as if everything is as usual because she's seeing that he's doing the paperwork. So she's aware of the fact that he's doing the paperwork.
Yes.
But she's thinking of canceling the whole thing because what is important to her is not important to him,
and she's hurt by that.
Yes. But in actual fact, it's true because he doesn't see the importance in the actual ceremony. He sees the importance in the actual paperwork around it. So again, we're seeing huge communication things. And I'm questioning if there's also some cultural elements here that are coming about and possibly maturity levels. So it seems like the way he's responding, the way, the happy-go-lucky kind of characteristic.
Chilling, yeah. He mentioned chill quite a few times. Yes. Yeah.
Is where he's at, whereas with her, it's do, and take things very seriously and do them all the way very deeply.
Yes.
Which, again, might be a cultural difference, might be a personality difference, but it could also be a maturity difference.
Right. Okay. Very interesting. Yeah, maturity. I like you mentioned the maturity difference. He doesn't say it. That's like, I guess it's understandable for us now reading his post. He doesn't see the wedding ceremony as big of a deal as to her, but I feel like there's still lots of miscommunication between them two when he plays video games instead of asking how she's doing with all the wedding planning. And quite a few times he described her as being dramatic. Like in her drama, she then go back home and not talk to me for 2 days. But in his side of things, he's just picking up his friends when his friends is in need.
Although he said that he's always there for anyone, including her, in her need. And what I'm guessing here is that what he is calling drama, he's actually not realizing is actually mental health. So
when she's being triggered,
yes,
maybe he sees that as a drama, not understanding
the impact on her mental health. Yes. And what she actually needs. So by him actually understanding in much more depth what triggers actually are and how they're impacting her, it might all of a sudden make him treat the dramas, as he calls it, very differently.
Definitely. Yes. I think she needs to access professional help, which she indicates in her post. She said, I really need to access therapy. I need to see a therapist. But right now, the wedding, she has spent so much money on paying the wedding expense. She does not have money for therapy. In his post, he mentioned, I'm financially secure. Maybe if he knows what her needs really is, he can offer to support her in seeing therapist and paying, or support her on seeing a therapist now, having the access now.
And it almost sounds like that he's just not aware. And if he would be aware, he would be there, and he would very easily say, hey, no, this is not okay. Let's first go to their therapist. Let's first make sure that you don't feel the way you're feeling. So I don't know. I have a really good feeling about him, that he actually wants to do the right thing. He just is a bit clueless, and maybe he needs to go with her to the therapist once or twice to get a bit more educated about how all of these things are actually impacting her.
Yeah, obviously he's not coming from a counseling or psychology background. Otherwise, he would have clicked that her needs is to get professional help a lot earlier.
Yeah, because it does sound like he loves her, and it does sound like he wants the best for her. He is a bit on the macho kind of side of seeing her job as if it's just chatting,
A hobby
and
like
chatting, social
elements of it. Yes.
And not seeing it as a proper career, which for her, we don't know,
Well, could be. We
might
don't
be
know.
something that she's very serious about and loves very much, and it's not about necessarily chatting with the girls. So there is a bit of disrespect to her profession. And I'm again asking myself if that's maybe again a cultural element of him not getting the nail thing as an actual career, but just something that women do kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. And the abuse she experienced from childhood, he sort of brushed it off very lightly. Oh, I know she had some abuse from her parents. She doesn't have any friends or family to talk to. And then that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, could be that he's a bit clueless, or he doesn't care. But I don't know. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Yes. So I really think that both of them need a bit of a deeper conversation about firstly understanding each other and where each other is coming from. Secondly, educating him about mental health and the impact on her and what she actually needs in order to feel better and more secure.
Yes.
To minimize the stress levels and things like that.
And being triggered. Yeah.
Yes.
And go into that really bad mental space at the moment.
Yes. To call off the wedding or not, I think that's, with all due respect, a bit less important here. It looks like they both want to get married for the visa, for being together, for whatever.
But there are bigger conversations and deeper conversations needed to be had.
Yes, much more important conversations for them to actually have a very healthy relationship that will be a really solid ground for their future as a couple.
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, so I think we covered that
pretty well.
From all directions at least. And I'm hoping that people often will be able to breathe when their emotions are really, really high.
Yes.
And just meditate or relax or do what they need to do or go for a run or whatever in order to be able to come back and have real conversations about what's really going on. Not what you say, not what you assume, not where you think that things are coming from, but actually tell me how you're feeling and what are the things that are pushing your buttons.
Right. Yes.
And trust me to do the same so that we can actually talk about what's important here.
And at the same time, these questions you raise are brilliant, are really good. But for a person, I don't know how old they are, in the 20s or early 30s, to be able to have the mental maturity to ask these questions, it takes time, it takes practice, and it takes, life experience as well, and how much they look within themselves and how much they understand themselves. Sometimes triggerings and other things are happening to you, you don't understand where they're coming from. And a lot of times people don't look back and reflect on what was actually happening. So relationships are hard, and
they are hard, but they're also very rewarding.
Right. Okay. All good. So that's the end of our episode 7. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye. If you also have a relationship dilemma that you are struggling with and you would like us to bring it up here anonymously, you can email us on bestpossibleme.podcast@gmail.com. You can also find the email address in our podcast bio. Don't forget to like and follow our podcast so you get the notification of each new episode. See you next week.